Rome. To speak its name today is to conjure images of white marble, senators in pristine togas, and invincible legions that brought civilization to the world. We've been taught to admire their architecture, their laws, and their glory. But beneath the flash of the golden eagles beat a heart of iron and a thirst for order that could only be quenched by the most extreme suffering imaginable. To a Roman, peace wasn't the absence of war. It was the presence of absolute fear. Imagine, for a second, walking through the Forum. Don't look at the columns. Look at the stains of dried blood on the steps. Don't listen to the speeches of Cicero. Listen to the screams echoing from the underground prisons. Rome didn't punish to correct. Rome punished to erase. To them, a criminal wasn't a man who made a mistake. He was a crack in the universe that had to be sealed with agony. Today, we step away from battle dates and emperors' names. Today, we descend into the pits. We are going to explore the 12 methods of execution and torture so perverse, so psychologically devastating, that even the bravest historians sometimes preferred to look away. Welcome to this journey into the center of human cruelty. Prepare yourselves, because after this, the marble of Rome will never look quite so white again. 1. Poena Cullei, the punishment of the sack. We begin with the crime Rome considered the sin against existence, parricide, killing the one who gave you life. To the Romans, this wasn't just murder. It was an act that shook the very foundations of nature itself. Visualize the scene. The year is 101 BC. The air is thick. The condemned man isn't led to a quick gallows. He is humiliated first. He is forced to wear solea lignea wooden sandals, so his impure feet don't touch the sacred earth of Rome. His head is covered with a wolfskin cap, because one who kills his father has renounced his humanity and is now a beast. Let him not see the sky, for he is unworthy of its light. Let him not touch the water, for he is unworthy of its purity. But the true horror begins with his traveling companions. The executioners bring a waterproof leather sack. Inside, the darkness is already alive. A dog, symbol of disrespect. A rooster, representing blind ferocity. A monkey, the deformed caricature of man. And a viper, the venom of betrayal. Can you feel the man's desperation as he is shoved inside? There is no room to breathe. He feels the monkey's claws tearing at his face in the panic of the dark. He feels the serpent's fangs searching for his flesh through the folds of leather. The sack is sewn shut. It is a screaming, writhing, howling coffin made of skin. As the bundle is tossed into the Tiber River, Rome's message is clear. We will not let your body contaminate the earth, nor the water cleanse you, nor the air receive you. You sink into absolute oblivion, devoured by animals that reflect your own rotten soul. It is total loneliness before death. 2. The Tarpeian Rock, the abyss of dishonor. If parricide was a crime against the family, treason was a crime against the father of all, the state, and for traitors, Rome reserved a stage of terrifying verticality, the Tarpeian Rock. Located on the southern peak of the Capitoline Hill, this limestone wall wasn't just a cliff, it was a symbol. It was named after Tarpeia, the young woman who opened the gates to enemies out of greed and ended up crushed by their shields. Since then, that place became the pulpit of death. What made this punishment especially cruel wasn't just the 80-foot drop. It was the psychology of the ascent. The traitor had to walk through the crowd that once cheered him. Imagine Marcus Manlius, the man who saved the capital from the Gauls. a national hero, now in chains, climbing the very hill he defended. Every step is a reminder of his lost glory. He feels the wind at the summit, sees the forum where he used to give orders, and now he only sees faces full of hate. In Rome, honor was more important than life. By being hurled from the Tarpeian rock, the individual didn't just die. His name was spat upon. His body was left shattered at the base, often left there for birds to strip his flesh in full view of everyone. It was a lesson in physics and morality. The higher you climb in Rome, the more painful your fall if you choose to betray her. 3. Decimation. The betrayal of brotherhood, but there is a horror that surpasses individual death. It is a punishment that transforms love into hate and friendship into a tool of execution. We are talking about Decimatio. Let's enter a Roman camp after a shameful defeat. The air smells of failure and sweat. The soldiers, men who have slept together, who have bled together on the frontiers of Germania, are formed into perfect ranks. There is a deathly silence. The general doesn't look for the guilty. Rome believes in collective responsibility. In a wooden urn, the lots are placed. 1 in 10 must die. Close your eyes and imagine drawing the black stone. But the horror isn't for you. The horror is for the other 9. Your best friends, your contemporaneals, those who swore to protect your back, receive clubs and stones. They are ordered to kill their own comrade. This is the most psychologically refined punishment. If an executioner kills you, you die with dignity. If your own brothers in arms beat you to death, you die feeling like a pariah, and they are left dead inside. The 9 who survive are never the same. Their hands are stained with the blood of the one they loved, by order of the one they feared. Rome knew that an army that fears itself more than the enemy is invincible. Decimation didn't just eliminate soldiers. It eliminated mercy from the heart of the legion. 4. The fustuarium. The sentence of silence while decimation punished the group. The fustuarium was the hammer that fell on the individual. Imagine a sentry who fell asleep on his watch. He's not a bad man. He's just exhausted after weeks of marching. But in Rome, exhaustion is a weakness, and weakness is a crime. The ritual is chilling in its coldness. The military tribune walks toward the accused in the middle of the camp's silence. He doesn't scream. He simply touches the soldier's shoulder with a thin rod. That touch is the mark of death. In that instant, the soldier ceases to be a comrade and becomes prey. His own friends chase him with stones and clubs. If he miraculously survives and manages to run out of the camp, his fate is worse than death. He cannot go home. His parents will close the door on him. His children will look at him like a ghost. In the Roman code of honor, a man who flees punishment is a dead man still breathing. It is absolute social death. 5. Crucifixion. The art of prolonged agony. We come to the punishment that the orator Cicero called the most cruel and terrible torment. Crucifixion wasn't just an execution. It was an engineering display designed to keep a human being alive at the threshold of maximum pain for as long as possible. Forget the sanitized images of religious paintings. The Roman reality was visceral. The flagrum, the whip, didn't just strike. It tore. The executioners were experts. They knew exactly where to drive the nails into the wrists, not the palms, so the weight of the body wouldn't tear the flesh and cause the prisoner to fall. The body becomes its own executioner. To breathe, the condemned must push up on his nailed feet. Every inhalation is a lightning bolt of pain shooting up his spine. When exhaustion wins, he sags, and his lungs begin to collapse under the weight of his own chest. It is an infinite cycle of suffocation and agony that could last for days under the sun, with insects feeding on open wounds while the crowd mocks from below. 6. Damnatio at Bestias. The theater of butchery, we enter the Colosseum now. The smell is an unbearable mix of incense, the sweat of the crowd, and rotting blood. Here, death became show business. Damnatio at Bestias was the favorite method for lower-class criminals and prisoners of war. But Rome added a touch of poetic sadism, mythological executions. Imagine a prisoner dressed as the hero Icarus. He is fitted with wax wings and tossed from a high platform into a pit of lions. The crowd laughs as the hero falls and is torn apart in seconds. Or the myth of Orpheus, where the criminal is given a lyre and told that if his music charms the bears, he will live. Of course, the bears have been starved for weeks. In the arena, the human being lost his soul to become an object. Death was the grand finale of a play where the audience was both judge and executioner. 7. Burial of the Vestals. The living tomb. There is a way to die that makes the blood freeze just by imagining it. It involves no whips or beasts, but something much worse, absolute silence. At the heart of Rome lived the Vestals, virgin priestesses who guarded the city's sacred fire. They were the most powerful women, but their freedom came at an iron price. If one of them broke her vow of chastity, the punishment was the campus celeratus. Imagine being carried in a closed litter, like a corpse, through a crowd that keeps a deathly silence. You are not executed publicly, because your blood is sacred and cannot be spilled. Instead, you are forced down a ladder into a small underground crypt. Here you have a lamp, a little oil, a piece of bread, and a bowl of water. It is not charity. It is a legal loophole, so the gods don't blame Rome for your death. Listen to the sound of the stones sealing the entrance above your head. Above, life goes on. Below, in total darkness, the priestess waits for the air to run out or hunger to consume her. It is a death designed to make the victim feel time stop while the world forgets her. 8. Damnatio Memoria. The murder of the name for Roman, death was not the end. The end was being forgotten. Damnatio Memoria was the ultimate condemnation. Reserved for tyrant emperors and high-ranking traitors, this process was a plastic surgery of history. Imagine a man who ruled the world. After his death, the Senate decrees his oblivion. Overnight, thousands of sculptors armed with chisels sweep through the empire. They erase his face from statues, scrape his name from monuments, and melt down the coins with his image. It is absolute emptiness. His children lose their inheritance. His laws are annulled. And it is as if he had never been born. In a culture obsessed with legacy, this was the coup de grace. Rome didn't just take your life. She robbed you of your past and your future. 9. Scaphism. The human hive, though Persian in origin, Rome adopted and perfected slow torture methods for crimes of sacrilege. Scaphism is quite possibly the most disgusting method ever devised. The condemned is placed between two boats or hollowed logs, with the head and limbs exposed. It is not a quick death. He is force-fed milk and honey until his own body becomes a source of filth. Then his face is smeared with more honey to attract insects. Under the scorching sun, flies and wasps begin to lay eggs in his sores. The victim becomes a living colony. He feels the larvae devouring him from the inside as septic shock takes over his organs. The historian Plutarch mentions victims who survived 17 days in this state of conscious putrefaction. It is the triumph of cruelty over biology. 10. Death by fire. Nero's torches. The Emperor Nero took execution to a level of artistic perversion. After the Great Fire of Rome, he needed scapegoats. He designed death by slow fire, but with a macabre twist. Prisoners were wrapped in tunics soaked in resin and pitch. They weren't burned on a common pyre. They were nailed to posts along the paths of his private gardens. At nightfall, they were set on fire to serve as living lamps for his banquets. Imagine the contrast, the smell of imperial delicacies mixing with the scent of burning human flesh, while the screams of agony served as background music for the Roman aristocracy. 11. The Mamertine Prison, the navel of hell. There is a place in Rome that even emperors didn't want to mention. Beneath the church of San Giuseppe dei Falegnami lies the Tullianum, better known as the Mamertine Prison. It wasn't a jail to serve a sentence. It was the waiting room of the abyss. Imagine being lowered through a hole in the ceiling into a circular stone chamber, cold and damp. There is no light, no beds, only the smell of death from those who were there before you. In this hole, historical figures like the Gallic king Vercingetorix or the apostles Peter and Paul awaited their end. The torture here wasn't the whip. It was the weight. Total sensory deprivation. The hunger that makes you lose your mind while you hear the echo of free people's footsteps walking over your head in the Forum. Rome used this place so that enemies of the state would wither away before being strangled in the shadows. It is a reminder that in the empire, the ground you stepped on could swallow you at any moment. 12. The Iron Chair, the Throne of Pain. We reach the final method, reserved for those who refused to confess or renounce their beliefs. The Iron Chair. It was a metal throne, but beneath its seat there were no cushions, only glowing embers. The condemned was chained to the chair. As the metal heated up, the punishment became a slow and systematic agony. It didn't just seek to kill, it sought to break the will. Imagine the sound of metal hissing upon contact with skin, the white smoke rising while Roman executioners, with terrifying calm, asked questions. This method represented the state's total domination over the individual's nervous system. Rome didn't just want your obedience. She wanted your own senses to betray you. We have traveled through the 12 circles of Roman hell. We have seen how a civilization capable of building aqueducts that would last millennia also built methods of pain that defy the imagination. We often wonder why Rome fell. Many say it was the barbarian invasions or the economic crisis. But perhaps the answer lies in these 12 shadows. A society that turns suffering into a spectacle and cruelty into justice eventually wears out its own moral fabric. The iron of the chains ended up rusting the soul of the empire. Today the ruins of the Colosseum remain in silence. The screams have faded, but the lesson remains. The greatness of a nation is not measured by how much it can conquer, but by how it treats the most vulnerable in the name of the law. Rome tried to erase these stories, but here we have rescued them from oblivion. If you've reached this point in the video, you are among those who do not fear looking at the dark side of our history. Which of these methods made you question human nature the most? Do you think we have truly evolved today, or have we just changed the methods? Let us know your thoughts below. If you value this uncensored content, subscribe and hit the bell. We are Crown and Dagger, and remember, history always leaves scars. Until next time,